Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz, Comic Corner Classic, Non-Classic. This is episode number 30, 2140, and Doubleshot number 2034. Two sci-fi trades, and they both came out around the same time with each other. Yep. First I have is Legion of Superheroes. This is Enemy Rising. Collecting issues 37 to 43 of Legion of Heroes Volume 5. Yes, this is the issue just came just after the renumbering. Now, these issues basically are very infamous if you're... These are well known. Well, let me put this. This is basically history-making issues with these ones because we returned of Jim Shooter on the book, first time since the 70s. Yep, he comes back this book for about 13 issues. Yep, he leaves for the final issue of the run. In these 8 issues here, this whole storyline is that we have Lightning Lad not doing good as... He's not really a terrible leader of Legion Superheroes. Basically, while looking at Doc, he basically gave bureaucrats all access to Legion Superheroes. A lot of really crazy stuff happening here. And we also have this mysterious guy who's doing something really interesting for the Legion. And we have these potential recruits, which, of course, Lightning rejects them because basically they're too green. This way they could join them. And apparently also their transmission thing is blocked. Yes, it's blocked by the president for some reason. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening here. And at one point they think they got clearance to temporarily leave the planet. And turns out that was actually a lie. Because they were basically trying to arrest. They tried to basically shut them down. Meanwhile, though, the guy who's been sneaking around the place, who actually had the Legion new uniforms, talked to Brainiac 5, gave a proposal. Sell you invented the Legion rings? Yeah, sell the Invisible Kid. Why? Well, comes an interesting proposal for him. Basically, he becomes the Legion's business manager. Yep. So, he basically has the whole thing shut down, and he also prepared a lawsuit against the Attorney General. Yes, the Attorney General, under the President, who basically called for this Attorney General's impeachment because basically a breach of power, like a bunch of legal stuff here. And anything they try to arrest the Legion for, heck, they even have a warrant to basically raid their headquarters, which was under construction. And there's a bunch of, it's like Jim Shooter's basically like having a bunch of wild stuff happen with Legion Superheroes. Well, he had run the book in the 70s. So I'm not going to blame him for what happened with this book. It's not terrible per se. We do have like Brainiac 5 getting the 3 Brainiac symbol, which is actually designed by the business manager. Oh, and they do keep the fact that Senator Girl and him are an item, which is interesting. We have Ocho Boy pops up in their room and where he's wearing his tidy whities and a shirt. And it's like, oh, they got clearance to go to play. Like, oh, Ocho Boy just the first person to volunteer. I just thought it was so funny. Yep, and they try to arrest Ultra Boy. And look at this guy who, according to Brainiac Copy, he decided to sell their Legion rings, the design to the Galactic Corporation in order for their support. And to end all the stupid stuff that's been happening. Yeah, and there's a bunch of yelling in this book. But I do enjoy this book, basically. And there's still one more trailer to go for this run, and we're done. Yep. Which, by the way... That's new look for Brainiac 5 and Colossal Boy. We have Element Lad. See him in here. He's a character who barely plays a role in this book. Yep. But this book is really good. We have the artwork here by Francis Manipold and Aaron Lepsey. I've met Aaron Lepsey. Awesome guy to meet in person. These guys both do the artwork in here. Francis Manipold does issues 33 to 40 and 42 to 43. 41 is done by Aaron Lepsey. 44 is done by Stephen Green. The original cover art is done by Francis Manipold and Lepsey. But yeah, I love these cover art here, these gatefold covers, which is so awesome. Yeah, this book, I thought was pretty good. Give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Yep. I found on the pull-up, I actually did find the next trade for this one, so I'm gonna get that when I get freed up from that one. All right, next up we have is the Eternals. Too Soon for the Apocalypse. This was a short-lived ongoing series. Really, the same time this book was, believe it or not. Yes, because the final issue of that book came with the final issue this book came out, which is strange to say the least. This collects the Eternals, the entire 5th volume of the series, which was basically 9 issues and an annual. Yes. Now you're probably thinking, are the writers people we've heard before? No, the writers, not really. The artist, yes. The first 6 issues done by Daniel Kuna. The final 3 issues are done by Eric Nugan and Sarah Pachila, who does issue 8. Fred Van Lin does the annual, with Pax Axel doing the artwork. Most issue is just basically Eternals trying to interact with society. And also, this came out during a period of time when we have this book, we still have Iron Man, director of S.H.I.E.L.D. at this point in time. This is before the events of Secret Invasion. I'd say just before then. Yeah, the first 7 issues basically deal with that. Though in issue 8 and 9, they become a sort of a unofficial tie-in to Manifest Destiny, which was a mini relaunch of the X-Men books in 2009. This was before the events of Utopia. Actually, like 08, I think it was. So, we also deal with the Sleepies, Celestial, which is something that does play a role in the X-Men's run for the next few years. From the moment they moved to San Francisco in 2008 up until the events of Extermination, where the Sleeping Celestial was destroyed. Yep. And here's the strange thing, though. Ajax tries to communicate with this damn thing, but apparently he can't. Apparently the only person who can't communicate with the Sleeping Celestial is a guy who was like, not Cersei. Cersei just appeared in this book. Now, of course, also, Cersei does have to explain to Iron Man that the heroes are not citizens of the United States. They don't have to register, despite the fact that he says they should, but nope. They're undocumented people. It's like, are you legal aliens? No, we're just basically undocumented people. Because heroes don't legally exist. Kind of, in a ways. And this book, I think the writers do a good job with the Eternals and how they're depicted here. And this will be the last we see of the Eternals until 2021, when the Karen Gillan book started up. And of course, they deal with the stuff they had to deal with, like fighting with the X-Men. Icarus has played a role in this book. It seems like half the time he is a star, and a lot of time he isn't with Athena. At one point, losing her son, who debuted in the previous volume for the series. He died briefly, and he came back thanks to the whole thing with the resurrection stuff. At one point, Gilgamesh is acting completely out of character. Yes, Gilgamesh. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. Gilgamesh acting out of character for who he is. But this book is really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it for what it was. Iron Man does show up occasionally. Of course, he doesn't just leave us alone. And I was like, why don't we just work together? Just didn't matter, because he's just trying to be. I do appreciate the fact he's not written the way he was written other books at the time. Well, a lot of time he was a dick to a lot of people. Here, he's trying to be diplomatic. He's being genuine. He does want the Eternals to work with the people. And Cersei's like, nope, just leave us alone. We'll do whatever the heck we want. Yeah. So, who's the rash one here? Iron Man or Cersei? And apparently Cersei still does not remember her time with the Avengers. Yeah, I'm not going to blame the writers of this book. I blame Neil Gaiman. I'm not sure who to blame for that. Why the most Cersei forgets her time with the Avengers. She was an Avenger. And, yeah, not much else to say here. Of course, they mentioned, oh yeah, we do this lesson for years. Which is definitely true. I think that basically the writers of this book does an okay job writing a lot of the Eternals. When they kept with Gilgamesh. Charles Knuff. Yeah. You might be curious though, but I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Have these guys done anything else aside from this one book? Let's find out. Oh, this actually is volume 4, excuse me. But I was definitely right. It took 12 years to do another volume. I thought it was the last 2 issues. It was actually the last 3. Yep. The writers of this book did... Now, Frank Marlin, oh yeah, he's on more stuff Marvel. Have these guys wrote anything else Marvel aside from this book? Well, these guys were the writers of Iron Man from issue 7 of the... Well, the one that came out to Warren Ellis's Extremis run for issues 7 to 16. Actually, we were there with issue 18. Then in this book, they also did Captain America Third War 0 points, and that's it. That's what Charles Karnoff has done. Yeah. So pretty much in a way, I've covered most of this guy's time with Marvel, with the exception of like a single one-shot. Yeah. As for Daniel, who was apparently his father, yes, father and son duo, he just basically worked on Iron Man for issue 715, came back for issues 21 and 28 when he was director of S.H.I.E.L.D. run. Yep. Then he did this book, and that's been it. So for Daniel, I've covered everything for him. His son, Charles, all but a one-shot. Yep, all but a single one-shot. Yeah, all but a single one-shot for him. Now, you probably would think, though, when it comes to Eternals, like, did they appear in comics after this book wrapped up? Well, they did. Because it seems like mostly they were just appearing in just this book, per se. Let's see. After this book wrapped up, they were, let's see, Megespers and Guardians. They appeared in Dark Reign, Fantastic Four. It's like the appearances were very sporadic over the years. Yes, right after this book concluded. Guardians of the Galaxy, Dark Reign, Fantastic Four, Secret Warriors, Who is Tomorrow Project, Fall of Hulk's Alpha, Marble Uranium, the Euron for issues 1 and 3, X Factor Forever, one issue Incredible Hulk's Chaos War. They appeared in a few issues of X-Men, Volume 3, the team of the book. First issue of Zombie Supreme, Thor Deviant Saga, issues 1, 2, and 5, issue of Hulk. They appeared for Infinity. Yes, the Eternals appeared in Infinity. Yes, this event. You think, wait, the Eternals played a role in this book? Well, probably the Alien Eternals. Like, their appearances were very sporadic over the years. Well, that wasn't until they started off the Jason Aaron run, where they pretty much, in a way, the Eternals, I think it was the first issue, I think it was. I think it was the first issue where because there was one issue I think it was of this book. I'm trying to find it here for the Eternals. I think it was issue 10. I think it was. It was one of these issues where basically Jason Aaron and Sally Hall commit mass suicide. Yeah. For some reason he did. Because I remember reading it was one issue where they all commit like mass suicide. Wait, here we go. It was issue 4. Yes, issue 4 of the Avengers. Yeah, the group all commit mass suicide. Yep. Yeah, the Eternals all commit mass suicide. Yeah, it was in 2018. They came back roughly about 3 years later. Yeah, it was like 3 years later. They came back at the start of the most recent run for the book, which was really good, by the way. Yeah, damn good book. And then ended. Yep, so it's strange though, like you have the Eternals, great group of characters, and don't do anything with them for several years, just have them appear sporadically, not doing very much, and then they have them all commit mass suicide. Because everything, they say, oh yeah, everything about them was a lie. So yeah, main dead for 3 years and then brought back thanks to the resurrection stuff, even though they could bring her back anyways. Yeah. But yeah, that's basically it for them. But this run here was actually pretty good. It could have been canceled due to low sales. That's possibly the reason why after only 9 issues, but it was a really good book. Sad to see it end, but it was really good. So now I've covered, officially right now, 3 full volumes of Eternals. I covered volume 3, 4, and 5. Yep. Now, there was 2 other volumes I have not covered yet. There was a volume that came out in the 80s. That was done by Peter Giles. I think you wrote that book. And then there's also the Jack Kirby. I covered the first 2 issues of that book, but the Eternals is definitely a group of characters I would cover. I'd love to cover more of, but I'll cover them eventually. Don't worry about that. Yep. But yeah, that's it for Particular View, and that's it for videos because I got some stuff to do. So next time will be more Super Sentai. Okay, next video. Bye.